A cat tucked away in the shadows of a closet, or perched precariously on top of a refrigerator isn't just playing a game of hide and seek. While most owners see these quirky hiding spots as a charming feline personality trait, there is a sophisticated biological and psychological driver behind every choice of sanctuary. Understanding these specific locations is less about finding your cat and more about reading the silent signals they are sending regarding their internal health and emotional well-being. There is a deep ancient language in their choice of retreat, one that bridges the gap between their wild ancestors and the modern living room. Most people assume a hiding cat is simply tired or antisocial, but the reality is that their environment is a tool they use to regulate their physical state. 1. The porcelain sanctuary of the sink or bathtub. You might walk into the bathroom to find your cat curled tightly into the curve of the ceramic sink, or stretched out across the bottom of the bathtub. It looks uncomfortable to us, but for a cat, this is a calculated choice. Here's what most owners miss. This isn't just about a funny place to nap. It's often a sign of thermal regulation or a search for hydration. Porcelain and ceramic are excellent conductors of heat, meaning they stay significantly cooler than the surrounding air. If your cat is suddenly frequenting the sink, they might be struggling to lower their core body temperature. While this can be a simple response to a warm afternoon, it can also be an early indicator of hyperthyroidism or even a fever. Feline behaviorists note that cats are desert animals by evolution, and they are generally very good at handling heat, so when they go out of their way to find a cold surface, it's worth paying attention to. Furthermore, the proximity to a faucet often signals a cat's instinctive preference for running water over standing water. In the wild, still water is often stagnant and dangerous, while running water is fresh. If this behavior is new, check if your cat is drinking more than usual. This could be a subtle hint toward early-stage kidney issues or diabetes. The practical takeaway here is to monitor the frequency of this behavior. If it's a hot day, ensure they have access to cooling mats or fans. If the house is cool and they are still glued to the porcelain, a quick vet check for metabolic changes is a wise move to ensure their internal thermostat is functioning correctly. 2. The high-altitude observation deck. That space between the top of your kitchen cabinets and the ceiling is more than just a dust collector. To your cat, it's the ultimate fortress. You might see them peering down at you, with only their ears visible. That's not random. It's a display of their tree dweller instinct. In the wild, being high up provides a 360-degree view of potential prey and, more importantly, protection from ground-based predators. When a cat chooses the highest possible point in a room, they are often signaling a need for safety or a lack of confidence in their territory. If there are other pets in the house or loud children, the top of the fridge becomes the only place where they feel truly untouchable. Research into feline social structures shows that vertical territory is a primary way cats manage stress in multi-cat households. The cat at the top is often the one asserting control, or conversely, the one trying to escape a conflict they feel they can win on the floor. Before we move on, think about the layout of your home. If your cat is constantly seeking these high-altitude spots, it might mean they feel trapped at ground level. The practical takeaway is to provide more cat superhighways, shelves, or cat trees that allow them to navigate the room without having to touch the floor where they might feel vulnerable. It's about giving them back their sense of mastery over their environment. 3. The scent-soaked laundry basket. There is nothing quite as cozy to a cat as a pile of your freshly laundered, or even better, slightly worn. You'll find them burrowed deep into a basket of sweaters or curled up on a shirt you left on the bed. This isn't just because the clothes are soft. It's about the communal scent. Cats rely heavily on pheromones to identify home and family. By sleeping in your clothes, they are literally wrapping themselves in your identity to feel secure. This behavior signals a deep emotional bond and a high level of trust. Evolutionarily, cats in a colony will groom each other to create a group scent, which acts as a biological ID card. When your cat hides in your laundry, they are performing a self-soothing ritual. However, If this behavior becomes obsessive, it can be a sign of separation anxiety. If they only hide in your clothes when you are about to leave the house, they are likely trying to cope with the stress of your departure by surrounding themselves with your comforting scent. The takeaway for you as an owner is to recognize this as an act of devotion. If you have to travel or spend long hours away, leaving a worn t-shirt in their favorite hiding spot can significantly lower their cortisol levels. It is a simple way to provide emotional support when you can be there physically. 4. The deep dark under the bed or sofa. This is perhaps the most critical hiding spot to monitor. While every cat likes a quiet nap under the bed occasionally, a cat that retreats into the deepest, darkest corner of the house and refuses to come out for meals or play is sending a major red flag. In the feline world, hiding is a biological imperative when sick. Because cats are both predators and prey, showing weakness in the wild is a death sentence. Consequently, they have become masters at masking pain. When a cat hides under the bed and stays there, they are often in significant physical distress. It could be anything from a dental abscess to internal organ pain. Behavioral studies show that sickness behavior in cats includes lethargy and a total withdrawal from social interaction. They aren't just being moody, they are in survival mode, trying to stay out of sight while their body attempts to heal or manage pain. Here's what most owners miss. If your normally social cat becomes a floor dweller who leave the underside of the sofa, it's time for a medical evaluation. Don't try to force them out with a broom or loud noises, as this will only spike their stress. Instead, look for other subtle signs like squinting eyes, a tucked-in chin, or a lack of grooming. The practical takeaway is to respect the hideout but act quickly. Early intervention is key when a cat's instinct tells them to disappear. 5. The classic cardboard box. The internet is full of cats in boxes, but the science behind it is fascinating. A study by the University of Utrecht found that shelter cats provided with hiding boxes recovered from stress significantly faster than those without. The box provides a safe zone, where nothing can sneak up from the sides or the back. It is a physical manifestation of boundaries. If your cat is constantly seeking out boxes or tight, enclosed spaces, it means they are actively trying to lower their environmental stress. The tight quarters also help with heat retention. A cat's thermoneutral zone, the temperature at which they don't have to spend energy to stay warm or cool, is between 86 and 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Most human homes are kept much cooler than that, so a small box acts as a personal heater, trapping their body warmth. That's not random. It's a survival tactic. If you notice your cat is always in a box, consider if your home is a bit too drafty for them. The practical takeaway is to never throw away a good box. Even if it clashes with your decor, that cardboard square is a high-value mental health tool for your feline friend. It gives them a sense of enclosed safety that a plush, open cat bed simply cannot replicate. 6. The mechanical heat source. You might find your cat tucked behind the refrigerator, curled up on top of the cable box, or squeezed behind a computer monitor. While these spots are warm, they are also often dusty and full of electrical cords, which isn't ideal. This behavior is a very common signal of aging or joint discomfort. As cats get older, they lose the ability to regulate their body temperature as efficiently. And like humans with arthritis, their joints feel much better when they are warm. If a senior cat is suddenly seeking out mechanical heat, they might be dealing with chronic pain that they are trying to soothe. It can also be a sign of a thinning coat or a drop in body mass, which makes them feel the chill of the air conditioning more acutely. Before we move on, think about your cat's age. Are they jumping as high as they used to? If not, the heat seeking is likely a compensatory behavior for physical stiffness. The practical takeaway here is to provide safer alternatives. Heated cat beds or thermal self-warming pads are much safer than the back of a dusty appliance. By providing a dedicated warm spot, you can help manage their comfort and keep them away from potential electrical hazards. 7. The burrow under blankets and pillows. Some cats are tunnelers. They love to crawl under the duvet or wedge themselves between sofa cushions. This is a very specific type of hiding that usually signals a high level of social security and a desire for deep pressure. Touch. In the same way that humans use weighted blankets to calm their nervous systems, cats use the weight of blankets to feel grounded and protected. This behavior often points to a cat that was well socialized, or perhaps stayed with their mother and littermates for a longer period, as it mimics the feeling of being in a kitten pile. It's a sign of a cat that seeks physical closeness and tenting, creating a pocket of air that smells purely of them and their favorite human. However, if a cat who never burrowed suddenly starts doing so, they might be reacting to a loud noise or a change in the house, like a new construction project nearby. The takeaway is to always check the lumps in your blankets before you sit down. If your cat is a burrower, they are likely one of the more emotionally sensitive members of the feline world. Providing them with cave-style beds can give them that same sense of security without the risk of being accidentally sat upon. In the end, your cat's choice of a hiding spot is a window into their internal world. Whether they are seeking the cool touch of a sink to manage their metabolism, the heights of a cabinet to feel secure, or the depths of a closet to soothe their anxiety, they are always communicating. By paying attention to these unusual choices, you aren't just finding your cat. You are strengthening the bond of trust and ensuring they live a healthy, supported life. They rely on us to read the signs they can speak aloud. Next time you find your cat in a strange place, don't just reach for your camera. Reach for an understanding of what they might be trying to tell you about their day, their body, and their love for you.